truth.
Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It is Monday, January 12th, and we've got a lot of news to break down. Overnight, last night, Fed Reserve on a Sunday night dropping a video with Jerome Powell talking about a trial. He's been brought up on charges by the Department of Justice. Is this the Trump takeover of the Fed, or what's going on here? Trump's actually replied back about that. He's put out a response to it, saying it wasn't me. We'll see. We'll see. At this point, I'm looking at it going, is this weaponization of the DOJ for a personal agenda? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Tinfoil hat time. But guys, we got a lot to go over. Gold and silver hitting some new all-time highs. We're seeing some stuff on Iran coming out, and then memory. We're running out of memory for AI data centers, and so again, that list of our AI plays, we're going to go over them today. Our stock plays for AI data centers, looking like it's a huge win still with what we're seeing in the article. So let's go ahead and get it. It's OG Monday. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's go. Get it there. There we go. All right, guys, looking at the crypto bubbles, what we have going on the crypto bubbles, guys, you saw it up there. There's a lot of red, but we are starting to get a bounce on the hourly. But the guy that's going to tell us what's really going on in the markets today just woke up and got his coffee on a new IP address. Who even is this guy over here? Fuzzy OC, the Fuzzy Bear. What's up, OC? How you doing today, man? You're muted. You're muted. Fuzzy camera and muted.
Thank you. Yeah, I need to have the full combo, my friend. Late to the party, stuff not working, fuzzy camera, and muted, man. You got it all today. And the thing's getting better.
Here we go.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
There we go. OC, how you feeling about the markets today? Did you hear what happened? Did you even see what happened last night with the Jerome Powell thing? Your thoughts on this first, and we'll get into it.
Absolutely, I did see the video from Jerome Powell. I don't know, this feels a little fishy. If you want to hear my own personal opinion, I think it is kind of like a revenge. I don't know if I'm just too malicious by what happens in my country, but I see this happening in politics over and over and over. So I'm pretty sad to see that, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, he's responsible for something. He said it in the video. Not even the chair of the Fed should not be accountable for justice, right? So good luck for him.
President Trump, did you hear that?
Whoever needs to fall, let it fall.
Did you hear that, President Trump? The guy from Mexico said this looks very Mexico governish. So there you go. That's what we have. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. I want to get into that. Actually, let's jump into the Bitcoin chart first, and then we'll get into the news. Some levels that we talked about last week playing out right now on the charts. Let's go over there. Nope, that is not charts. That is a bubble charts. There we go. This is the level we were talking about last week here, guys. And this is the dynamic reactor. If you were watching Lunar Beach's crypto last night, we talked about the golden pocket level, 0.66 at $92,058. I called this out in this chat. Also, we've been talking about this thing forever. This is pulled from the April low of 2025 to the all-time high in October. And this golden pocket has been a money maker for shorting. Also, this dynamic reactor been a quick money maker for scalp longs. So nice bounce on that there this morning. We're getting back above that $91,000 level. Of course, we're going to take a look at the options levels, the gamma, the delta, the theta, the vega. Give you guys that current level here in a bit. But yeah, Bitcoin right now getting a bounce off that dynamic reactor. I do want to point out that we did get a downtrend print here on this rejection of the 0.66. So this could simply just be a retest for more downside. We're going to have to wait and see. But right now we are printing a downward bearish oscillator ribbon. Money flow kind of flat with a little rise up at the bottom, but volume looking like it's getting weaker. So we'll have to take a look at this and tell you guys what we're seeing on the higher time frames here in a bit. Let's go ahead and jump over, though, into the news, and we'll get over there and break all that down. Let's do that. Let's do some news. because we got a lot of news. All the news is fit to be news. Shout out to the Otter Gang, by the way. Shout out to Alex L. Crypto. I saw you down there in the chat, bro. Appreciate you sending everyone over this way. And shout out to Alexandra G. dropping 5 Gifted Piper Academy memberships and Trade Intuition. Also, bingo bango to you, bro. Dropping 5 Piper Academy memberships. So we got 10 new members. If you're new to the Discord or new to the memberships, you now have access to the Discord. It's a $5 membership, gives you full access. And of course, it is DCA Monday, and we just dropped all the DCA levels on Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, and Ethereum this morning in the Discord. So make sure you guys get over there and check that out. If you're new, make sure you connect your YouTube to the Discord so you can get all of that. Shout out to everyone. Shout outs, as Mark Netches has said. So appreciate you being here. JR, you also, Trade Intuition, and all the many, many people that have joined us here. Let's get into these metrics and let's talk about what we're seeing on Into the Cryptoverse this morning. Right now, we are currently sitting at a $3.093 trillion crypto market cap. The trend on this, the fair value of the crypto market cap is sitting at $4.684 trillion, currently undervalued just under 34% to the downside. So I use the Discord to harass Piper. Hey, Ballin' Wallin, I appreciate your harassment, man. Current risk level bands on Bitcoin right now sitting at 41.4% risk band. In the Discord, it will explain what that means. So Bitcoin dominance right now is sitting at 58.59% with stable coins included. Take away those stable coins, and we are looking at 64.76%. Shout out to Melissa One Love. I see you, lady. Appreciate you being here. She said, shout out to shout outs. That's right. That is it. That is it. How are we looking on the 24-hour liquidation levels here? We're looking in the past 24 hours, 100,187 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $259.69 million. Largest single liquidation order was on Binance. It was Ethereum for $3 million. But of course, what I've been watching on here lately is this 24-hour long versus short right here. Longs, 49.54% of all the trades right now are longs. 50.46% meaning shorts, being in shorts. And that means that there's more of a bias on the short side than there is the long side currently right now. Looking at the X post, let's get into the bookmarks. There we go. And looks like Michael Saylor has just acquired another 13,627 Bitcoin for $1.25 billion. His average price, $91,519 per Bitcoin as of the January 11th. We now hodled 687,410 Bitcoin, acquired for $51.8 billion at approximate price per Bitcoin, $75,353 per Bitcoin. So how are we looking on fear and greed? Fear and greed right now, we're sitting at 27, still in fear. We've been in fear for a while on Bitcoin, man. It's staying there pretty strong in that fear category. Almost was to neutral, and then we had a pullback. This is from the Kabisi letter. For the first time ever, Fed Chair Powell is fighting back. Over the past 12 months, Fed Chair Powell has remained silent amid all of the Trump criticisms. When asked about Trump comments, Powell would respond, I do not have any response or comment. Today, that changed. Amid a new criminal probe by federal prosecutors, Fed Chair Powell says the threat is a consequence of not following the preferences of the president. Stock market futures immediately fell over 0.5%, 0.5%. Right now, still struggling to stay in the green for the NASDAQ. S&P and Dow Jones is in the red. We'll show that here in a minute. This also comes as the Fed is expected to pause rate cuts again in January on the 28th. Yeah, right now, 95% chance that we have a rate pause going on in January. So Trump versus Powell will result in even more volatility. This is coming off of criminal charges as a consequences. He's being cited into investigations for misallocation of the funds used in the rebuild project at the Federal Reserve. So let's check this out and hear what to say.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
So yeah, that's what that was his response to the DOJ filing on him. Of course, Trump now denies any involvement at all in the Powell subpoena. Trump says he had nothing to do with the DOJ probe targeting Fed Chair Powell. He also said the subpoenas have nothing to do with interest rates. So who knows? Who knows what the truth is? Welcome to the smoke and mirrors game of American politics. Titan of crypto dropping some data here. He said, why alt season is not starting yet. Let's talk about that. There's simply no money flowing into altcoin market right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. This indicator tracks stablecoin issuance and capital inflows into crypto. When the bars are green and expanding, it means new money is being created and entering the market. That's when Bitcoins and altcoin tends to explode. When the bars turn red, it means liquidity is leaving the market. In 2022, this indicator collapsed, and so did Bitcoin and altcoins. And you can see right here what he's talking about. It is now in a red block, and that means we should see even more downside. If this is the first red block, and we tend to have multiples, we could be looking at more coming soon, guys. Doesn't mean that it's got to be, straight down like we saw over here in 2022. We might get one green candle in there. You can see here during that cycle, we had those periods there, little single pump ups. But yeah, this indicator showing that there's no liquidity right now coming into crypto. Unfortunately, for weeks, even months, the amount of new money being printed and entering crypto has been shrinking. That means less institutional demand, fewer whales allocating capital, and very little real demand for altcoins. This does not mean there will be no alt season. He points this out. It means that right now, institutions and big players are not interested in allocating capital into altcoins, and without fresh liquidity, rallies struggle to sustain, which we've seen that. Every time we get a rally, it's been short-lived and back down it goes. But Tim says a bull market is starting. Well, some of us have 2 brain cells that work in unison, ball and Wallen. So there you go. Shout out to Eric Wallen. There you go. Coinbase threatens to oppose the Clarity Act. If you guys don't know what's going on with the Clarity Act, the banks are fighting hard right now against the Clarity Act because it has stable coin interest yielding in it. And so that is a big play for a lot of crypto people and a lot of crypto exchanges. And the banks are not liking this. Why? Because I don't have my money sitting in a bank. USAA has to watch my money come in and leave every single month minus what I owe in bills. And that's just the reality of it. So, Coinbase is now threatening to oppose the Clarity Act because if the Clarity Act goes beyond disclosure requirements and restricts stable coin rewards for users, they will be withdrawing the backing of the Clarity Act bill. And the banks have at that point swayed politicians. And I think you should all remember every single person in my opinion, every single person that supports this Clarity Act not having that bill in there, or the allowance for stable coin yield earning, remember their names. And on voting day, make sure at the poll, you remember all of those names. So that's just my 2 cents. I make quite a bit of money off of my stablecoin yields. Thank you very much. What else do we have here that we need to go over? And X marks the spot. Iran warns that any U.S. attack would trigger retaliation against Israel and United States military bases across the region. Guys, it's getting hot out there still. Geopolitical tensions are continuing to grow and make impacts around the world, putting a lot of people on edge. So yeah, we got an article on this about what's actually going on in Iran right now, but they are making they're giving warnings to the U.S. that anything that we do could result in Israel and the United States military bases being attacked. So, and then also President Trump said if we don't take Greenland, more geopolitical tensions if there wasn't enough for you. If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland, and I'm not going to let that happen. President Donald J. Trump tells reporters earlier on board Air Force One, this is about 12 hours ago, stating that he would love to make a deal with them instead of military action, but says one way or the other, we're going to have Greenland. Man, if you couldn't get any more things to throw on the fire, there you go. Looking at the stock market right now, let's give this a refresh, make sure it's fully up to date. Geopolitical, it's just effing Trump causing fires everywhere. To be fair, Iran's causing their own fire. Well, I'll at least give that one alibi to that stance. But yeah, you're not wrong on some of the other stuff there, Dutchy. Looking at the U.S. right now, stock market, Dow Jones currently down about 0.4%. S&P is down 0.13, and the NASDAQ just above flat, or just below flat at 0.07, trying to stay at least neutral for the day. Russell 2K is down about 0.5%. The volatility index creeping up 6.3% to 15.4 points. When we hit 17 on that, guys, brace yourself. What's this looking like for the 10-year yield? Well, it's green. What does that mean? It means people are selling it. They're getting away. They're running away from the 10-year yield. And I think this has a lot to do with all of this Jerome Powell stuff. Because, and I tried to explain this pretty decent yesterday in JR's Discord. I was jumped in over there talking to DGen X. When people see that the Fed Reserve is not operating autonomously without influence, then it makes them question the economy and the monetary policy. That's the word. Monetary policy of the United States. Because they're seeing this political pressure from the DOJ, whether it be political or not, in my opinion, it is, on Jerome Powell. They believe that there is a sway away from monetary policy driven by exterior circumstances, ulterior motives that don't have anything to do with monetary policy regulation and framework. So when we get the situation like that, it makes a lot of people go, you know what? I don't think I want to hold this U.S. Treasury, which is how we print money. When you hear people say they've turned on the money printer, they sold a bunch of Treasury bonds to other countries. We exported our debt. That's what the money printer actually looks like. And when it goes green like this, it means that people are selling it. That's why it's going up, because they have to offer a higher yield return in order to get people to entice people to buy it. So when it goes green, they're selling it. When it goes red, they're buying it. And now you know. That's how that works. What does that mean for where's the money going then? Well, that's real simple. Gold currently sitting at $4,628.50, up 2.83%. Silver is at $85.45, up 7.7%. Copper up 1.55%. Platinum up 2.15%, and palladium up 2.53%. Welcome to the metal era. Rock out. There you go, guys. That's where we are right now. Everything's moving into metals, and we're seeing a lot of pump action, especially on silver, on top of its limited availability. So, Trump credit card rates. This is also having a problem, which, hey, it's hurting the banks, whatever. But the bank sell-off is happening right now. Shares of Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo Bank of America, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Capital One all fell in response. Trump said Credit card rate cap plan has unclear path and devastating risk, according to bank insiders. What did he do? He said there will be a 1-year cap of 10% on credit card interest on American credit card companies, then maxed out to 10% on what they can charge their customers. Of course, the bank's sell-off happened very quickly. Why? Because they make a lot of money off that interest rate, which is, another reason to pay off your credit card every month, guys. Remember that skyrise building downtown in whatever city you're in, insert city name here, that says Wells Fargo or Bank of America or whatever on it, Chase. Yeah, they don't have a product. They don't have money. They don't do any type of service except for hold your money and invest your money to pay you 0.015%. That's all your money paying for skyrise buildings downtown. So no tears here about the banks getting hurt by this move by Donald Trump. The move sent shares of large banks, including Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, down between 1% and 4% pre-market trading on Monday. Trump proposed a 1-year cap on interest rates starting January 20th. While it's unclear exactly how that would be enforced, the industry's message is clear. The plan would bring unintended consequences for consumers and the American economy. I do think there is some things that could take place with this, when they're talking about the consumer here. Let's talk about that for a second. I do think that there is some things here. You could probably see a lot less credit cards get approved for people because they can't go, well, we're going to get 20, 25, whatever percent out of this person. So their credit score is not high enough for us to give them a credit card, which means you're probably going to see people get denied a lot on credit cards. Is that a bad thing? In the grand scheme of things, no. We are the most overdrawn, credit heavy, consumerist nation on the planet. Y'all need to back the hell off your credit cards, all right? So might not be a bad thing at the end of the day. Looking at the crypto bubbles here, how's the crypto prices looking on the daily here? Just give it a refresh and get in on that. Bitcoin up right now on the daily 0.06%. Ethereum is flat, even though they've had a 1.1 move in the past hour, still sitting flat right now. XRP is down 0.3%, BNB down 0.5%, and Solana is up 2.3% on the daily. Solana looking pretty decent, actually, in the grand scheme of things here. Other big movers outside the top five: Monero, privacy token, up 13.3% today. Zcash is up 3.8% despite all of their developers leaving. And then the 19th and 20th positions here would be Avalanche and Litecoin, both in the red. Litecoin taking a hard hit to the gut, down 4.4%. Republican Senator Tom Tillis vowing to block Trump's Fed nominees following the Powell probe. The thing we just talked about. Having some blowback. Let me take a drink of coffee. Autogain coffee mug. Yep. So tastes like OG profits. There you go. Republican Senator Tom Tillis vows to block Trump's Fed nominees following the Powell probe. He said they will block. Well, he will at least, but he's going to get his boys to have his back, right? We will block any of Trump Fed appointees, including for chair, in light of revelations that the Justice Department is investigating Jerome Powell for potential perjury charges. That position substantially complicates the road to replacing Powell, whose term as chair expires in May. While Powell's term as chair ends in May, he can stay on as governor all the way through 2028. He has not yet indicated if he will do so or not. So what we're seeing here is Republicans from the RNC are starting to say, you know what, this looks fishy. This doesn't smell right. This is going to cause some blowback. We're going to block whoever he puts in. If he thinks he's going to control the narrative of the Fed Reserve and ruin the economic perspective and appearance to the global stage of monetary policy, then we are going to block whoever he thinks that he's going to put in and at least put some speed bumps in his control of that situation. So interesting stuff coming to light on the backside of all of that stuff going on with Jerome Powell. We don't have anything today on the economic calendar, just some Fed speakers. Curious to see what they say, though. See if they say anything about Jerome Powell or if that's just an offhand subject right now. Probably is an offhand subject. So Tuesday, though, we're going to get to ADP employment change weekly. Was 11.5K for the weekly change last week. We'll see what it is this week. Core inflation rate month over month. We don't have a previous for that. Go figure. But we do have a year over year. 0.3% or 0.2% is what they think it'll come in as. And this is going to be our core inflation minus food and energy. We're going to get our year over year report, expected to be higher on consensus, flat on or neutral on forecast. And that's year over year coming in tomorrow. And then we're going to get our inflation rate. Again, we don't have a monthly on it, but we do have a yearly. Of course, we don't have a monthly right now, but we can go back and look at previous and derive some assessments off of that. So, but right now, yeah, tomorrow is going to be the big day for inflation data. And then we're going to get PPI on Wednesday for this week. Core PPI month over month for October and November is supposed to be coming in. And then Thursday, we're going to get initial jobless claims. Of course, comes in every week. And that's about it. So a little bit of inflation data this week. Last week, labor. This week, a lot of inflation stuff. But how are we looking on that chance for a rate cut, guys? Like I told you, 95% chance that we get a pause on the rates here. 95% chance, no change. 5% chance that we get a rate cut in January. This actually went up a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring OC up here. I don't know if he's going to be on this picture or not. I may have to get him set up. Him and his janky setup he's got today. But that's KOC. I got you, man. I got you. Look, we're going to bring you down a little bit right there. We're going to zoom you in just a little. Not a lot. OC, just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Let's check out some news here, OC, together. Got it? Gold smashes new record of $4,600 as Powell probe and global flashpoints ignite safe haven rush. Gold hitting $46 per ounce. Gold hit a fresh new record on Monday, extending a blistering rally as investors piled into havens amid a swirl of geopolitical and policy shocks in recent days. OC, we're going to get that chart up here in a minute from you. If you pull up that gold chart and get it ready and take a look at gold and silver for us, I would appreciate that. But yeah, guys, if you are wanting to get into gold and you don't have access to just buy spot gold, you guys can check out PAX-D. It is available to trade on a lot of exchanges. It's on Coinbase, and that's what I'm actually doing. I bought about $30,000 worth of PAX-G about a month ago. So doing quite well right now at this $4,600 level that it's pumping up into. And then what a U.S. intervention in Iran could look like as Trump is weighing options, guys. Geopolitical, man. U.S. President Trump is readying for a likely intervention in Iran. I just showed you guys what they said about it. It will trigger a retaliation. Now we're seeing what is he looking to do on it. He's readying the likely intervention in Iran as the country cracks down on protesters with several hundreds of reportedly killed and internet access has been cut off. Possible next steps can include boosting anti-government sources online, deploying cyber weapons against the Iranian military and civilian sites, placing more sanctions on the regime, as well as military strikes. So yeah, far from over, guys. We've been talking about this for over a week, and it is just getting hotter. It's not calming down at all. And then, of course, we'll talk about this if we have time today, guys. AI memory is sold out, causing an unprecedented surge in prices. This is why I'm so bullish on all of those AI data plays for the AI data centers on stock side. So we'll talk about all of that. So that is about all I got there. OC, let's go take a look at that gold chart, man, and the silver chart. What are you seeing? It's looking extended, but we've got a lot of macro reasons that overextension on technical analysis could just be nothing that's going to change the trajectory that's happening right now on the rockets of macro side. So what do you got for us, OC?
Absolutely. Let me first unmute myself. Well, right here, let's take a look at the 4 hours and let's wait for the drawings to load. This is exactly what we were expecting. Again, I mean, we have both bullish and bearish scenarios. And as we were hitting upwards and breaking through that zero line, well, that's where we call it out. Well, at this point, the bullish scenario is playing out. We have broken the previous high right here. That's exactly what we were looking for, right? And on that area, I was expecting a little bit of a retracement for a re-entry, but seems like we have completely broken it. So this is going to be the next situation, next scenario. that we're going to be trying to jump back in. If you guys want to jump into a trade for gold, in my ad for me, I already have got some digital. And by the way, I'm planning to get a little bit more physical gold. And that's because of the over leverage, the 100 to 1 on paper gold. I also want to leverage myself with physical gold. Nonetheless, let's bring up a couple of my indicators in here to see where is the far distance where we could be expecting gold to head. And Piper, if I'm cutting too much, please let me know. Seems like my internet is not yet that great.
Nope. You're doing fine. Let them cook.
Perfect. All right. So let's wait for that indicator to play it out. What I want to see, there it is. It is basically my here is predictive ranges. All right, so we already have broken the gray line. Perfect. We're creating a good sketch, which means little retracement, bigger continuation, bigger retracement. So it seems like we might have some little retracement, or at least a little bit of a flag like this, right? Before we get that continuation. Look at this goose head that played out in here, almost exactly the same goose head that it's playing out right now, right? So a little retracement, then further continuation, and then bigger retracement. The little retracement, further continuation. I'm gonna be looking around an area right here where this purple line is at, maybe getting a little bit shy of it to then get a bigger retracement and then a further continuation. So far, we're pretty bullish. We are trending, so do expect that retracement to be somewhat shy or hidden, something like within these areas in here. But yeah, that is so far what I got on gold. And let's take a look at silver, because silver is also very, very interesting. Let's go. So here it is. This is where we left out 2 classes ago. So this was on Thursdays, if I'm not mistaken. And let's just give it some space so we can take a look at our lines in here, and let's take a look at something very important. We have broken the previous monthly high, right? Also, we're forming a goose head. Absolutely. We have broken the bullish flag, and most importantly, we have broken the purple line, which in theory, we are right now hunting the blue line. So I am expecting to have the same movement, same pattern as gold, maybe a quick drawdown, then going to hunt the blue line, then bigger retracement, and then a further continuation to the upside. Remember that silver, gold, especially gold, move on a speculation, on uncertainty in what's going on right now with gold and Jerome Powell. Well, that's impacting right into the rate cuts, right? I mean, who's the guy in charge of that, and who's going to go to Yale? I don't know who's going to go to Yale, but absolutely, we get that feeling, right? That
Yale is a university.
Yale.
Gel is where you go in the U.S.
Gel, perfect. Thank you, gel. Right? Let's go. And yields. What's the difference? That's the one that I want to be on.
A Y and a J. We designed our language to make it difficult for foreigners so that they don't want to move to America and learn English.
Let's go. Next up is going to be Ice hunting bad speakers just like me.
I love you, OC. You're the best. You're the best, dude. You're the best. Let's jump over here and take a look at this chart, guys. Bitcoin is getting that push up still off of that dynamic reactor. It's now back to its secondary offline here from this VWAP that printed back here on the 5th of January. So watching this closely. If we make it up into the 0.66 and we do a slight sweep here of this liquidity, could look at a rejection here on the VWAP. A liquidity sweep above that might be a nice setup for a short. That short entry, $92,620, guys. Just make it a nice clean 92,600, and you should be good to go. Put your stop loss right above that, somewhere in the ballpark of about 93,000, and should be a decent short for you on low leverage. So Crypto G88 OC wants to see platinum. Go ahead and pull that chart up, and let's take a look at platinum while we're at it on the metals. I know you like your platinum, so you got it? Let's do it. All right.
Perfect. Let me mute myself here because you guys can hear me typing. So right here we have platinum. Let's just give it a further outlook. And it seems like, and let me just get rid of all of this thing in here for a second. And of course, out of indicators, off we go. And it seems like we are making a, there we go. Let me just clear this up. Perfect. A bullish pennant, right? So this also could be a symmetrical triangle. I wouldn't like that much that this is read as a symmetrical triangle because that would mean that we have a little bit of a bearish sentiment as we go, and that is because we could have that little movement to the downside, but the size of the pole, I think, is not that big based on the size of the triangle. So I believe that we're going to go for a symmetrical triangle. Let's get back into the 4 hours. Into the 4 hours, things change just a little bit because we can need to account for this area right here, and also we need to move our line a little bit more steeper, which again is not that bad. I mean, it just makes closer the target closer. Let me make sure I don't leave this page. Come on, there it is. All right, perfect. And now let me throw in my indicators in here. Perfect. So we're bouncing off the previous golden line of predictive ranges. That is not good. We're having a goose head. So this goose head, along with our prime score, which is mildly bullish, right? So it's just one number above neutral, and our consolidation score being an 8 basically confirms that we are into a symmetrical triangle, because remember, symmetrical triangles are 50-50, somewhat an indecision state, right? So the point in here is that we're bouncing off a very important area at this moment, and if we're able to come back and hit some support, remember what we were expecting, right? That little bearish sentiment, I think that will be fabulous for a re-entry. But in the case we don't, remember, we analyze both case scenarios. Well, I'm not gonna be trading until I rejected my previous monthly high, come back down, my entry right in there at the comeback down at 2,400, and then a continuation upwards. So what is your entry? For a short, at the loss of your trend line, so you can go ahead and add your zero or your trend line. But remember, this is not financial advice. And if you're looking to short this area, it's a very small zone. So I would recommend going something like into the 30-50 minutes. That will give you more candle structure, right? You need confirmation on that trend line breakout. Then wait, hold it all the way somewhere around 2088, 86. And that's where we're going to be looking for a zero hit on our zero line, and then continuation upwards for a long. So entry for a long right down there. If we get the bullish breakout, well, I'm not going to be trading it until and unless I hit the 2,518, come back down. That's what I'm going to be looking for, the support, my entry, and then off we go to the upside. Most likely, let me see if I can have a target. Oh, sorry. Most likely, I'm going to be looking for it for a target at 2,656. And that's it.
Sweet. All right. Shout out to TradeFly in the chat. I see you there, bro. I appreciate everybody joining us here, guys. We've got 120 people watching total right now across X and YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, smash up the like button. It helps the algo, and I hate asking you guys, but it's how it works. It's just how it goes, man. I appreciate everyone that's here right now. Shout out to TradeFly. If you guys aren't following TradeFly, you guys are missing out. Go follow TradeFly. Let's take a look at the stock side. We talked about the AI memory shortage that's going on the chip side. You guys can see here. I'm going to pull this up over here. Let's go back to here. Nope, there. Take a look at the stock market today, guys. Red, barely up on the NASDAQ, okay? Oh, we got breaking news. CNBC real time. Alphabet. Okay. Apple picks Google's Gemini to run AI-powered Siri. Long Google. Long Google there, guys. ChatGPT has lost that war. Apple going with Google there on breaking news. But you guys can see pretty close to red here on the NASDAQ. Everything pretty much down today. Take a look at the AI plays. And I know I'm in the way over here. Let me move myself right there. There you go. NVIDIA. So this is our AI data center list that we put on our Discord. Chips, NVIDIA, AMD, Avgo, TSM, right? And then AI powering, cooling, BRT, ETN power. We've got energy and utility in here. We've got copper and critical materials in here, and hyperscalers, and then AI ETFs right there at the bottom. Yeah, they right in there. AI ETFs at the bottom. These are baskets that contain these ones above, right? Look at the majority that's in green here. We got one. Nvidia's down about 0.2%, but AMD 2% upside. Avgo 1.3. Like most of this is green right now, with the exception of hyperscalers. I think Google's going to be flipping green here in just a minute on that breaking news. But for the most part, mostly green, despite it being a red day. If you guys want access to this and you are already a member, make sure you check in the Discord under the TradFi watch list. It is pinned in there. That entire list is there. You guys have access to it. If you are a member, $5 a month gives you access to all of that, plus the trade setups for JR, plus the DCA Piper plan. Lots of stuff for you guys for that $5 a month. The only reason it's $5 a month, honestly, is because it keeps bots and scammers out. So we are at the top of the hour. OC, I know you got to go, but any advice for everyone with all of this stuff going on in the world, the geopolitical side, the weaponization of the DOJ, tinfoil hat situation going on? What's your advice today on what we're looking at in the markets right now?
Well, I believe that first we need to look at the bigger picture, right? If you do not know what the Piper plan is, please take a look at the Discord. That is one of the most amazing plans that I have ever seen, and I have ever been able to actually be following and take some profits. Second of all, if you're going to be investing in crypto, get a hardware wallet. And third of all, remember that when they're expanding in the markets, that is your opportunity to stay calm, be prepared, no scared, and buy the dip. This comes with a warning. Not every single movement to a downside is the dip, and that's why we have the Piper plan. So we have a wristband movement. You don't need to follow the Piper plan if you don't like it.
Yep.
In my opinion, it's the best one out there. But remember, do have a plan. This is an opportunity, not a calamity.
Appreciate it, OC. Appreciate it. You got to hop out of here, so go ahead and get over there. You got chart prime classes coming up in like 2 minutes. I'll go over here and solo us out. So, guys, appreciate you joining us today. Make sure you guys tune in tonight with OC, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade live with the OC guy right here on the Piper Academy channel. And then we'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., trying to unravel what the hell is going on in the world. But yeah, just make sure you tune in right here. Hit that notification bell if you are subscribed to get notified when you go live right here on the Piper Academy Network. Until next time, guys, trade safe. Keep your eyes on them charts. Use some risk management. We will catch you guys tomorrow, bringing you guys the news, the charts, the headlines, everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, peace, love, profits. We're out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data, never the mission OC.
Oh, by the way, we're heading over to Crypto Blood right after this. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Crypto Blood live next. We're redirecting there. Let's go.
From the grind, lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit. You know how we run till the next one. Stay sharp. Get it done.
You can't handle the truth. Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude. Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?